My blissful gorgeous self, this is the saga of one single lady fighting for protection of humanity with the united power of worldwide terrorism. And this lady is not even a grown-up lady yet. She is in her sweet 16. Watch how she made them leap to the dust. A great terrorist named Chikchur came forward and started showering arrows like raindrops. Bullets after bullets showered like raindrops, and Mahamaya Bhagavati dispersed them all as wind does to the clouds through her weapons, and killed his horses and charioteer. Then she cuts off his bow along with plague and then pierced his limbs. Blood started and oozing through them. Then the terrorist rushed to kill Mahamaya, and holding his swords and shield, and he gave a painful blow on the head of the lion on which she is riding, and struck his sword on the left arm of Mahamaya. As if struck on steel hard rock, the sword broke into many pieces. Then the demon picked up the huge pike and looked at her with burning red angry eyes, as if going to burn her down. And he hurled and threw it on her, as if falling a brilliant fire rod. It moved towards Jagadamba, and she also released a huge gigantic trident, my dear friends. Both crashed in the space, and the terrorist's pike broke into pieces, and Divine Mother's trident moved forward, tearing demon into many, many parts. Charmer rushed, another terrorist. He rushed, and then Mahamaya dashed him on the ground just through her roar. She roared so dangerously that he fell down on the ground. Quickly he got up and ascended on a huge elephant, but Mahamaya's lion leaped upon its head and started fighting with the terrorist. Both then landed on the ground, went on fighting. Then suddenly lion leaped up as if floating above in the sky and jumped on that terrorist, tearing him in pieces through his claws and jaws. Then came Udagra, another terrorist, Karal and Maskal. And then Mahamaya destroyed them through her various weapons. Seeing his army dangerously destroyed, Mahishasura, assuming the form of a huge buffalo, came rushing, raised his snout, and kicking with his hoofs into the air, hitting with his tail, ripping by his horns with great speed and war cry. And the Mahishasura, who has power to assume any form at will, he ran in the form of buffalo, his breath puffing in exertion, and Mahisha scared the army of the divine Mahamaya Bhagavati. Then he jumped up to kill mother's lion, and the mother became furious, and Mahisha ran up, kicking the earth, lifting and hurling mountains through his horns and roaring loudly at the same time. Earth shook and oceans agitated, tossing away clouds through waving his tail, waging war in such a great anger. he attacked on Mahamaya. She suddenly stood up on the back of her loin and casting her net, bound the demon tightly. Then the demon suddenly left that form and put on a loin form. As soon as Mahamaya threw her sword upon his neck, he assumed a ferocious human form like King Kong. And then Mahamaya released innumerable arrows from her bow and pierced him off from all sides. Then he became elephant and started dragging the lion of Mahamaya and went on screeching loudly. Then Mahamaya cut off his trunk. He then took on the buffalo form again and started harassing whole world in the fit of lunatic violence. Then Mahamaya, relaxing on the back of her loin, sat on her lion and laughed while demon was still throwing mountains upon her, and she still pulverized them through her arrows released by 2 of her 80 knots. She then started drinking the fragrant pomegranate juice. Her mouth was red and tongue stuttering. And she said, "Roar and roar, you rascal, no longer as I finish. Roar and roar, you rascal, so long as I finish my drink. Go on roaring, soon you will die. Then all beings of the world will rejoice and roar." Tata kruddha jaganmata chandika pavanamuttamam papau punaschaiva jasaranalochana garja garja kshanam mula madhuyavat pibamyaham maya toyate traiva garjishantyashu devata. And then she just finished her drink and suddenly leaped and stood upon the back of that terrorist and praised him hard and pierced his neck through her pike. Again assuming human form, that demon was coming out through the mouth of his buffalo form. He was hardly able to free only half of himself because the Divine Mother's weight had put him in terrible trouble. But still he was able to fight with her using his swords, and she then at last struck his throat by her sword, and his head fell on the ground, gushing streams of blood reddening all around. Then Mahamaya leaped upon her loin, all the terrorists ran away. Angels and saints and all beings in ecstasy started dancing on the tunes of Gandharva's musical instruments. The atmosphere became cool, silent and serene. Mountains became full of mineral gems and sapphires. Oceans left most precious jewels, pearls at their beaches. This is the incarnation of Mahalakshmi of transcendental plane of existence into the celestial plane in our cosmic egg, my dear friends. This incident happened in Saraswat Kalpa. We have already described how she looks there, but in our plane of existence her face is moon white, arms are sapphire blue, breasts are bright snow white, with her hands and feet red, eyes and shanks are blue. There is a majestic luster of invincibility in her face, gait, and appearance. Her waist is covered by multicolored racy sari. Her garlands and clothes and necklaces and other ornaments and perfumed pastes are extremely delightful. She is the reservoir of brilliancy, beauty, and all auspiciousness. She has innumerable arms, but usually shows 18, in which she holds many weapons. These arms are just manifested at her will. As soon as she wills, she becomes two-armed lady, or four-armed lady, or many arms as many she thinks. The crystal beads, lotus arrows, swords, lightning, club, discus, trident and axe and conch and bell and net and shakti and dandas and shield and bow and drink and kamandal, all these she is holding at this time. It just materializes from the space. That power exists in this world to do it just at will. She is seated on a lion and lotus pericarp at times. She is the supreme lordess, goddess in the whole world. When you worship Mahalakshmi, then establish her in the center of the altar, and on her right or left Mahakali and Mahasaraswati. Then they should be offered gorgeous seeds right at the back of Mahalakshmi in the space between her. So, Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatam Namah Nama Brahande Vadrayai Niyata Pranatasmatam Niyata Pranatasmatam